Yo, what's good, gang? Quad here. So basically, I have a low pro tutorial today. It's kind of basic. There's nothing you can't really do low pro that much anymore. I mean, you can, but it's like it's not nearly as good as it was. They nerfed it, and honestly, if you're using this add-on on controller, I just wouldn't even recommend it anymore. I would just put on boots instead. But yeah, no, I still did a tutorial because why not? And hope you guys really enjoy. I should also specify that the nerf to low pro was basically no more curve window after you break a wall or breakable pallet. That's what I should have specified before. But yeah, that is basically the nerf, and that is a very large nerf, considering low pro does not down anymore. It used to down when you didn't have a curve window. It does not do this anymore. So it is just basically a useless add-on now, unless you're going for clips, which is fine, I guess. I mean, it's whatever. It's unfortunate, but nothing you can do about it. You just have to make the best of it. Alright, so basically this is how you low pro flick in the big 2025. Yep. Nerf to low pro, no curve window after low pro. So basically, low pro flicking is now like blight bump logic, more so than ever. It was kind of already like that when you were like low pro flicking, because you can no longer curve after you go through a pallet or a breakable wall. I'll show you here. I will not low pro flick. I'm trying to curve there, and I bump on the wall. And I'm trying to curve here. I'll go from straight on so you can see it better. But this basically means that you cannot, okay, unless you are just, like, I'm curving there, but I can't do it. They removed the curve window. This is a massive nerf to low pro. It's more of a nerf to controller, in my opinion. It actually bumps down the accessibility that low pro had, because you couldn't low pro flick on controller, but you could still use it because you had a curve window. But you can still do a low pro flick. That has not been removed. You can still do a one frame basically. See? Like you can basically just one frame turn it. It looks very clean, but since there's no curve window after, you're basically stuck in that direction. So I would recommend a DPI around 2000 and above, to be honest, because there's no curve window. So I would recommend around 2000, maybe even a bit higher now, to be completely honest with you. But this add-on is basically using this add-on to win has now dropped significantly. The only thing you can do now, you can't really zone anymore with it. I mean, you can zone, but you can only zone in the most mind-numbingly boring way. It doesn't take any skill to do it now because you can only go through the pallet in one direction. So basically, how you're going to want to use low pro now is go for low pro flicks, I would say. But you can just munch pallets, but it's still good for taking a health state. So say, imagine I'm Dracula. It's basically Dracula Hellfire, but it only downs. You just munch one pallet, you take the injure, or the deep wound. It's actually still really useful for getting rid of DH or OTR. Or I guess OTR doesn't really work anymore. But it's really useful for DH. Getting rid of that. Honestly, I've like, if there's like someone that's really good with DH and I'm like trying to actively win, I will saw through the pallet and I will break their, or I'll put them in the men so they can't DH me. So it's still really good for that, but you basically cannot use this add-on on controller. Honestly, I would just recommend not using it. But I mean, you still can if you want. I mean, you know, okay. Now, what I would recommend you doing is, before you could get away with using engravings and low pro, before you could do that, now you can still get away with it, but you basically have no curve window, or you don't have a curve window. But there's also one thing that you will notice: the turn rate for low pro is turned down for the first second. You turn even less than you do in a normal chainsaw sprint. You can't really tell in engravings low pro. It feels kind of weird. But you're basically stuck in a straight line. Like, there's barely any turning. So now, honestly, boots low pro is even more viable if you're wanting to farm for clips. It was never really like, I mean, honestly, I'd still would just recommend going with engravings. Is better in every single way. Boots low pro is not that great of a combo. It was slightly better when you could get away with like zoning people really well, and you still can zone. It's just infinitely less and just not as useful. Now, unless I mess this up, I'll show you what I mean. But you basically just curve like less. Here, I didn't do it very well. I went in the wrong direction. It's kind of hard to like find like an area where I can turn along. Do you see the turn window? Like, kick in. Like you can actively see the turn rate turn up in it. So basically now, honestly, I'm not going to do it personally, but if you do want to get value out of like low pro flicking more consistently, you're going to probably need to run boots now. It's even less viable with engravings. It always kind of was like a bit iffy. You wouldn't hit some certain things. But now, to be completely honest with you, if you really want to get value out of low pro, I would just run boots. If that's like your favorite add-on and your favorite kind of clip to hit. If you're a controller, I'm sorry, but you can no longer do cool stuff with low pro. I mean, you can do like you can literally just play the game more efficiently. That's all you can do, and even then, that's like not that much. But yeah, I would recommend about 2000 DPI, maybe even more than that, to be completely honest, because I play on 2000, and maybe it's a skill issue on my part, but I can only do like a 180 pretty much. Let me hit this door here. But I can only do like basically a 180. But that's really all you need to do in all fairness, because you can just go in any direction here. But yeah, no, basically how you would use this add-on now, instead of like them dropping a pallet at the loop, if they drop the pallet at the loop, you cannot hit any like low pro flicks or anything. It's just not going to happen unless they like, say you're coming from this angle, right? Or no, yeah, say you're coming from this angle, you're going around, all right, they go and like bait the pallet here, and you saw and the pallet's down, and you can basically like break the pallet, and sometimes there's a low pro bug that happens where you insta down them. If you like vacuum onto the pallet and hit them at like roughly the same time, you can like insta down them basically. But that's how you use that. You use low pro in a loop. You just try to force that bug. Or if say you're chasing somebody, right? They're running from me. You want to hit the low pro flick. All right, cool, yippee. You want to hit the low pro flick. They're like right there. All right, you just saw this way. Boom. Instead of trying to hit them, low pro flick, and then you know, try and aim wherever they are. Obviously, you know, it's really precise now. It's a very hard add-on to use now. It's even harder. Honestly, I wouldn't even say it was that hard to use. If you're on mouse and keyboard and you're like aware of Billy already, it wasn't that difficult. But now it's extremely difficult to use and has a lower skill ceiling in my opinion. So I am kind of a fan of this add-on, but you know, I am simultaneously, I don't know how I feel about the, you know, the low pro changes, but yeah, that's basically how you use low pro. That is Linger Saw. Linger Saw is still useful, but it's harder to use now because the curve window can help like make up for any mistakes you made. So basically what you're going to want to do with Linger Saw is you basically, I don't think I have any doors. I think I have some doors over here. You basically let go of right click, or you know, whatever your chainsaw button is, right before you hit the wall. Let me see if I can do it. Yeah, right before you hit the wall, and it does that funny animation, and it's because your linger hitbox that your saw has, it has a linger hitbox for maybe like half a second. I'm not really sure how long it is, but there's like a small period of time where your chainsaw can still down people and still hit pallets and walls. And that's basically Linger Saw. It's kind of less useful now. I mean, you can still get value out of it, but it's like really, you have to be so prepared for it now instead of just reacting. Because now reacting, you only have a couple, like, you don't have very long to hit the flick. But I think that's it with low pro flicking. I don't really think there's anything interesting with it, because before you had a curve window, now you don't. It's a completely dumbed down version of the add-on in my opinion. But it's fine. It takes a lot of skill to use, more skill to use. You can just get less out of it. But yeah, no, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Actually, it was kind of longer than I thought it was, but that's because it's not scripted. I'm just, you know, yapping because I much prefer this style of video. It's way easier. And yeah, and I'm also sorry about the lack of uploads recently. I, lost motivation for like a lot of YouTube stuff because I've been streaming a lot. And it's hard to like grind both really hard at the same time. But I do have a full map tutorial, full collision guide. Every slidable spot I know, I'm included in it. Every spot, you know, you'll like have like really bad collision at, I'm including that. All the like invisible walls on maps, I'm including that as well. It will be several hours long, including every single map in the game. So I'm really excited about that. I hope to have it out in a couple weeks. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I will see you guys later.